is at an end.
What's up, everybody? So Tabletop Tyrant, and we got another late night. So the Merwyrm, it dropped about, I think, on the 3rd or 2nd of February. I'm gonna try. Yep, I cheated, but yeah, the February 3rd. So I'm about 5 days late, a little tardy to the party on this. But what we are getting is a fantastic mini, and I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about it and kind of see where it is now versus what we can compare it to in its last iteration, which was in 8th edition. So the Merwyrm dropped in the Monstrous Arcanum, which was written by Alan Bly. I have to double check the sculptor, but I'm pretty sure it was... You know what? Let me pin it in the comments when I find out, so that way I'm not ignorantly passing some information along. Merwyrms kind of reside in the water. They made a debut here in Total War Warhammer. Really cool minis, but also a beautiful color palette. The blues, the greens, the creams, and the oranges all really tie well in together. And it looks like it's going to be a pretty big honker. I have never seen one of these in person, but as you can tell, that's probably a 60 by 100 millimeter rectangle, and he is a good chunk off the base and a bit dense, so that's nice. Now, for any of you that are new or are getting into this because the high elves are dropping, this will be what is Forge World resin. So if you're not familiar with that, you'll be using super glue and you'll be required to probably scrub the model. I use a little dish soap and a toothbrush to get in there, but just to get any release agents off in case they left some in. The way that resin models are done are a little bit different than plastic. I'm not going to get into it a whole lot though. So we got a snippet of rules like Abyssal Cloak and Enfeebling Cold. I almost say Enfeebling Full Foe, like it's old school freaking shadow magic. Abyssal Cloak and Enfeebling Cold. So the Abyssal Cloak is going to be -2 to hit for range on ranged weapons, so instead of the -1. So that's going to be really great for things like the Hellblaster Volley Gun, anything that kind of uses that rule profile when targeting this creature. And then 2, we get Enfeebling Cold, which is -1 strength to a minimum of 1 for when a model is in base contact with this model. So that's unique, interesting that it's in base contact. So if it's not in base contact, are they still -1? Or is it the front range? Like I said, I'm not too sure about that, but I want to take a look at 8th edition here, because if we go through, they actually broke it down into 3 different profiles with the Merwyrm, the Pagel Worm, and the Scio Worm. Now, I probably butchered those. If I did, sorry, I'm not good at fake words, but let's take a look-see at what we would get. So we had Terror, which I could see them keeping. Scaly Skin 3-up, convert a 3-up save. I believe we're probably going to see Draconic Mail, and it's going to get a 4-up save. We'll probably see it keep the regen 5-up. Sea Creature, I had to double check, but I'm pretty sure it was able to move in and out of the water without flaw. Powerful Tail is the special rule here. Enfeebling Cold and Abyssal Cloak. So Powerful Tail was a single attack, and you got to make it at +2 strength, which was pretty nice given that this was strength 6. Now, for anyone that's unfamiliar with the older editions, 8th edition and previous editions had the AP, I guess you could say, wrapped up in the strength. So if you were strength 4, you were -1 to someone's save. So naturally, being that this would be strength 8, you'd be -4 to someone's save. Really awesome, really good against anything with a good armor value. And if it's anything like Old World, we're probably going to see it where it's going to have to be like 1 attack designated to this weapon, or you're going to have to take one of your attacks and dedicate it to it if you choose to. Enfeebling Cold back then was -2 for charge distance on top of -1 strength, so we've already seen that get watered down. And then the Abyssal Cloak was -2 to hit in base contact and -2 modifier to their leadership value if subject to psychology. So that was cool. So they had to take a psychology test. They were -2 to their leadership, which was really nice. So given that this thing was strength 6, toughness 6 with 5 wounds and 5 attacks, I wonder how the profile is going to look since they have 3 to draw from. And then obviously points are probably going to be up in the air. Now, they did our boy, the Warpfire Dragon, like 400 some points. I could see it being like around 390, if not more, but don't quote me on that because I am not too sure. I haven't really had a chance to really deep dive in all the other things that they brought out, like Skin Wolves and stuff, and compare and contrast. But I hope I was able to kind of give you guys something out of this conversation or contribute in some way. The Merwyrm is going to be fantastic. If you're worried about how it's going to do on the tabletop and you're one of those people that only buys things that's going to do probably really well for you. I wouldn't probably plan on this being like the centerpiece of your army to be crushing people. It is a monster, which is great, and it probably will have some benefits to some list building, but it'll probably be something more for people that want to get down by the model because it's cool. Definitely for painters. I know the gigantic chaos spawn is a point of contention for a lot of Warriors of Chaos players, but it has its uses in games I play, but maybe not the competitive level. So that'll be up to you depending on how you want to field your army and what your goal is with it. Everybody, I want to say thank you for joining me tonight. I am going to go to bed after I edit this, and I hope you all take care. Peace.